Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Peter, and this channel is about my experiences in the beautiful country of Poland. And today's video is going to be about why Poland. Now, this question has changed over time. It has evolved as I've stayed in Poland longer and longer. And initially, the reason why I came to Poland is because of the visa process. When I started my journey and I wanted to teach English as a second language, I wanted initially to start down in Spain. And the visa process was extremely complicated and extremely hard. However, the visa process here for Poland was much easier. It approximately took me about 2 months for the paperwork to go through, and that's on the end of the employer and also on my end. Versus in Spain, I would have had to go through a different route or a different avenue to obtain a visa to teach English there. So initially, that was what brought me into Poland. In addition to that, I knew a woman who worked at the company that I now work for, and I didn't know her very well. We had met in Los Angeles. We had met in a CELTA class, which is a class that kind of teaches you how to teach as an ESL teacher. I met her there, and I knew her character, and I knew her work ethic, and I knew enough about her where when she reached out to me and shared with me that her company needed someone to work specifically with children, it was a no-brainer, and I was able to just say, yes, I want to come and I want to work with your company. And so my start into Poland really was based on faith in the fact that I kind of knew some of the people that I would be working with, or I would knew one person I was working with, and on my faith and the fact that I had traveled abroad before, and I kind of knew what it would take to move to a different country, to establish myself, and to set up. Now, when I started teaching, I also started getting why from a lot of the students. And they would be like, Pete, why? Why Poland? Out of all the countries in Europe or all the countries in the world, why Poland? And my initial answer was, why not? Why not Poland? I think that at the time, I really didn't have an answer, but as my first year progressed, and when I chose to stay here in Poland for a second year, the answer to that question really is that Poland is a very calm country, and Poland, for me personally, has given me a space or a platform to grow as a person. It has really allowed me to really dig within myself and to really get to know myself and to really get to know my likes and dislikes and to really understand how I work, and also in how I work as not only as an individual on a personal level, but how I work as a teacher. I also got the why question from a lot of my friends, a lot of my European friends, and a lot of my American friends that live in Europe, and a lot of my American friends that live back in the States. And their concern from what they had heard from other people or what they had heard from media was that Poland wasn't a very open country. And so when I announced to my friends that, oh yeah, I'm going to move to Poland, a lot of my friends and a lot of my associates were like, dude, why Poland? Why Poland? And at the time, I really didn't have an answer for them. But before I moved and as I started doing research, I discovered that Poland is a country that's a bit off the beaten path. Now, when a lot of people travel abroad, or even when they want to have a vacation, they typically don't come to Poland. Poland is a very specific destination. Most EL teachers, when they want to teach abroad, they usually go to places like Japan and China, Korea. And in Europe, they typically go to like some of the southern countries like Spain, Portugal, Italy, even Germany. And so I knew that Poland was a country that was kind of off the beaten path, and I wanted to have an authentic kind of new experience, a novel experience, an experience that not a lot of other people have had. And so that was something that really drew me to Poland. As far as the safety issue, I did dug around and met a few people from different parts of the world that had lived in Poland. And these were people of color, these were people who were queer, and they had had a good experience in Poland. And so therefore that even gave me more faith and more confidence to move to Poland. And I kind of based it my faith and my willingness to come to the unknown based on their experiences and kind of collecting their experiences and kind of averaging them together. And I found that, just like with going to any country is going to have issues, it's going to have problems, and no country is 100% perfect. But I've learned in my travels that you can't really gauge a country based upon what other people say, especially if those people hadn't had the opportunity to, one, visit the country or live in the country. You really have to base it on other people's experience, more genuine experiences, and you also, more importantly, you really have to base it on you, and how you feel, and kind of how you present yourself. And I think that I had some experience presenting myself in the world with my travels to the UK and Australia, and so I was more than prepared to tackle Poland. I also knew that I had the faith and the courage that if this journey wasn't going to be okay for me, or if Poland wasn't a good fit, I had the courage to simply leave and to explore another country. So that's the why for that particular part was quite easy for me. As I already mentioned, as I've stayed in Poland longer, the why has progressed and evolved. And the why kind of changed into a lot of opportunities that Poland was offering me that I wasn't reaping in other countries. And that number one opportunity was the ability to study here. And to go back to the States to study would have been like financial suicide. And for other countries, it was affordable, but it would have been jumping through hoops and not knowing if I would have had stable work to be able to fund my education and to fund my life. So therefore, it gave me that amazing opportunity. In addition, I met an amazing partner here in Poland. And actually, my partner is the editor of all my videos, and we make a great team with this channel, and we make a great team in life. And he really was a really big factor that contributed to me staying in Poland and really looking at Poland from a different lens. And so with his support and the support of his family, it made it really easy to be here, continue being here, and to live here. I also made a lot of amazing friends, a lot of amazing Polish friends, and a lot of amazing international friends. And again, that has contributed to the why Poland. Now, there have been several times in this journey where I kind of thought to myself, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to do something different. And I was experiencing a lot of growing pains in my short time in Poland. If you kind of look at the time that I've been here, 4 years does seem like a long time, but like in reality, for me, it's just been a blink of the eye. And in that time, I've changed so much spiritually. As far as my ability to obtain knowledge, that's changed. And also, I've grown exponentially with work and my ability to teach English specifically to children. And I think at the time, or during these challenging times, I was experiencing growing pains. And a lot of times when you get into discomfort, you start to wiggle, and sometimes you want to just wiggle out of the discomfort. And I was so happy that I decided to sit in that discomfort, because I've grown into a totally different person. And I know that had I left, I probably would have found other opportunities or other places to grow. But I feel that Poland has been kind of a safe haven for me to grow, to experiment with different things, and to ultimately be the person that I am today, and to continue growing and becoming a better version of myself. Now, another why is that I really wanted the opportunity to share this experience with other people. Now, Poland is a country that I don't think gets enough coverage and doesn't get enough exposure to the world. I think that Poland is an incredible, amazing, and beautiful country. Now, it's not perfect. No country is perfect. But for what it is and for where it's came from with its history of a lot of turmoil and a lot of really bad things that have happened here in Poland, with communism and the Holocaust, and its long history of being a country and then not being a country and being occupied by other powers or other countries. Poland has done very good for itself. And economically, it's a pretty sound country. And I wanted to be part of that. And I wanted to also share that with the world to let people know, hey, Poland exists. Poland is here. Poland is in the center of Europe, and it's an amazing country, and you have to at least come visit. I also wanted to share this experience with my family. My younger sister and her whole family are coming to visit Poland in the summer of 2022, which I am super excited about. And I want them to be able to kind of see how I live my life and also to see how being in Poland or being in Europe is different from being in the United States. And I think Poland is an ideal place for them to kind of start their European journey or European trip, because Poland offers some amazing landscapes, but it also is a relatively calm country. And it's just a country that I think gives a total different perspective and total different vibes than other European countries. Now, obviously, my reasons why I'm in Poland would be slightly different from anyone else's reasons for staying anywhere. And I think, like I've said before, had I went to a different country, had I not moved to Poland, I feel that I would have grown and a lot of opportunities would have came my way anyhow. But I definitely 101% feel that like I'm here in Poland and this is like the right place for me to continue growing and continue kind of striving and kind of just growing exponentially. Now, my thought has never been to stay in Poland forever. I have always had the desire to live in a lot of different countries. And my goal is definitely within the next few years is to relocate to a different country, to have a different experience and to reap opportunities that may not be attainable or are hard to reach here in Poland. So I definitely plan on moving to a different country. But for now, Poland is a great place for me, and a great place for me to continue growing and thriving. I always encourage you all to please, if you have the opportunity to move abroad, even if it's for a short time. This experience has allowed me to grow in ways that I cannot even imagine. Cannot even imagine. And and just answering the question why, it makes me reflect on the amazing journey and all the amazing things that I've been through. And some of those things haven't been always been positive. But life is about negativity and positivity and the lessons you learn for both experience. And I have learned so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit that subscribe and like button. And I cannot wait to see you all next week. Have a really great day.